Fuck me! Shit!
Anything piping hot. Don't stop and look stupid like some thick cow.
Yes, chef.
It's fucking wrong!
Fucking lamb. Fuck off. I've got...
Imagine building your whole career and like building your whole career on essentially criticizing small upcoming businesses that run restaurants and actually criticizing them on their cleanliness. And what you can do at best if a situation rises and you're in the middle of a controversy, what you do is try and downplay the situations. And you don't only stop there, but you go forward to actually tease the person who has laid a complaint on TV shows, talk shows, or whatever media you can actually find yourself actually preaching your nonsense. It's quite sad. It's quite sad. I think all those series he actually spoke about cleanliness of restaurants. I mean, all those things was I'm sure he was doing it for TV, wasn't he? It was just dollar signs, guys. It was just dollar signs. So let's see what other people have to say.
No way Gordon Ramsay actually commented this on her post. So this is the post where the dog goes number 1 and number 2, and the lady is just appalled by it. Everybody thought Gordon Ramsay would feel the same way, but he didn't. He actually doubled down and made a post that's now been deleted. A lot of people think that's AI though, and that is not AI. That is actually Gordon Ramsay's daughter, Tilly, in the video. A lot of us felt like Gordon Ramsay would be disgusted by this. If you're used to seeing him on TV go in and grill people about having rat poop behind their restaurant equipment and things like that, this is not the Gordon Ramsay we expected. Maybe that's how he's used to living though, because he comes back, shows the animal in a diaper, and basically makes a joke with his daughter about it. Giselle is the lady who made the original video, and she just is absolutely disgusted by it, as I would be too, and most of the world agreed. Nobody wants to be sitting there in a restaurant and smell fresh. I even saw where people were talking about E. coli and things like that, so I don't know.
Gordon Ramsay took down that video of him hyping up that dog that was pissing and shitting in his restaurant because he didn't want the health department to come after him and shut him down. I don't think he cared that people didn't like dogs. I don't think he cared that people found it gross. I think he realized that, like, what he was doing was a literal health code violation and against the law. You can't have animals shitting and defecating in restaurants. Like, that's fucking weird, bro. Like, I really don't think that he gave a fuck about what people thought. I think he realized the legal ramifications of what he posted and what he admitted to allowing at his restaurants. It was like, oh shit.
I'm sure many of you have seen that video of that woman in the Gordon Ramsay restaurant, and there is a dog peeing and pooing in the restaurant. The owner of the dog just puts out like a puppy pad, and then the dog is just fully urinating, defecating in the restaurant. This is an American tourist who films this, and she told the staff they don't do anything. She tells the manager they don't do anything. Now, I know that I get a lot of Americans watching my content, so I wanted to, as a black Brit, give some context to this situation. Because I do think it's a huge and rising issue. Firstly, I want to say that this happened in London. This is not normal in London, okay? So this is not like, oh, this is just the thing that happens. We don't normally see dogs peeing and pooing in a restaurant. However, to give some context as to why I think we've got here, I need to go into pubs and pub culture. Now, everyone knows that pubs are places that you primarily go to drink. Now, what a lot of people don't know or don't realise or don't remember is that back in the day, I'm talking maybe like 40 plus years ago, pubs were not somewhere that were just like friendly and open to everyone. Pubs were somewhere that men, primarily working class men, went to go and drink and socialise. So I think even before that, like a long time ago, women weren't allowed in pubs, I think. I might have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure either legally women weren't allowed in pubs or they were heavily discouraged from going to pubs. So even when women were allowed to go to pubs, it was not somewhere that they would go on their own, right? Probably go with a man. People of colour, there was a lot of pubs that were not friendly to people of colour. The point is that pubs were not nice places to go. They were quite grotty. They did usually serve food, but it was like, you know, it was a cheap place to go, and it was a place for men to go, a certain type of man, and it was not somewhere fancy at all. So dogs were often there. If someone had a dog, they would bring their dog to the pub, because the pub was not like a clean, nice place anyway, right? Okay, so it was a man cave in the worst way possible, if that makes sense. Now, over time, obviously, pubs nowadays are welcome to everyone. They're very family friendly. Every demographic of society can go into the pub. But do you know what hasn't changed? The dogs. The dogs are still in the pubs. Now, nowadays, most of our pubs, especially in London, are considered gastropubs. That just means they're a bit more fancy. They serve better quality food. Often they have like a restaurant section that you can actually book tables and everything like that. So they're operating for all intents and purposes as a restaurant. A lot of people go specifically for the food rather than just to drink. But the dogs are still there. And some of them will be, you know, more about the outdoor area, like dogs are allowed outside, but some of the dogs are allowed inside. And I'm like, the line between a pub and a restaurant has become very, very blurred. And it's starting to bother me because there should be a clear distinction. And when you've got dogs coming into gastropubs and you're trying to eat your Sunday roast next to this big dog or a yapping dog, it's actually really uncomfortable. And some people just don't like dogs. I don't mind dogs, but I don't want one sat next to me when I'm eating my dinner. So I just think from the UK, as all of us in the UK need to come together and just decide that dogs should not be in food establishments. I'm sorry. They can be outside in the garden of the pub, but not indoors where there is food. I just think it's disrespectful. And I just think the assumption that everyone likes dogs or is okay with dogs is such a weird concept to me. I really don't get it. Like, what if I had a pet goat?
And guys, this brings me to one main problem: the over socialization of dogs. Guys, see here, there's one thing I know about me. I do believe that it's okay to treat dogs fairly. Okay, because actually they're living things. They're actually living things, but they are not living beings. There's a difference. Guys, have you ever seen like when they'll be organizing a charity and people actually will donate more money to the dogs? The dogs that actually people may be dying of actually venerable diseases. People actually prefer to actually donate it to a dog. I think the over socialization of dogs, like, is just so, like in animals as in general. I'm not saying that it's bad to, let's say, have a dog and actually treat it fairly. But I just believe, like, it's just crazy, guys. Dogs are animals. They're not human beings. They do have, like, let's say, diseases and everything. They do have those things. And when I see people actually intentionally do that, and let's say, I can't say, I see loads of these numerous videos of people sharing their stuff with dogs. Hell no. Hell no. I can never, ever, ever eat from the same plate with a dog. I can never, ever, ever eat from the same plate or share the same banana or eat from the same side of a biscuit or a cookie with a dog. Like, let's say I'm biting the other side and he's biting the other side. Yeah, it's crazy to me, guys. And like, there was a time when I saw a dog, actually worms were coming out from his body. And even if they deworm the dog, guys, I'm sorry, I can't just see it for me. I can't see it for me. Talk less of a dog pooping in front of someone. I can't even eat when a human being is using the toilet. Then it's a dog. A dog. And people are nasty, guys. People are really nasty. People are really nasty. So here's what she had to say, the woman in question.
So apparently Ramsay has uploaded a video in which he is making fun of and mocking the situation that happened at his London restaurant on Friday.
Hey, Gemini, can this dog come to Street Pizza tomorrow night, please, for supper? Bruno? Tilly, what do you think?
To stitch my TikTok video with a dog laughing about it is beyond appalling. I will never go to another Gordon Ramsay restaurant as long as I live, and I will not recommend it to anybody else either. I want to again reiterate that their restaurant states that dogs are only allowed outside. I was sitting with my newborn baby inside the restaurant. So why was I seated next to a dog and a wee-wee pad? I don't want to sit next to a wee-wee pad. I don't want to sit next to a wee-wee pad when I'm having a dinner And I most definitely don't want to sit next to a wee-wee pad when I'm with my newborn son while having dinner.
Read that it was dog friendly. Dining room, and as much as we like dogs, I don't want a dog in where I'm eating.
I agree. I think that's disgusting. I think that's disgusting. I think that's disgusting.
So guys, you can clearly see that actually, at the start of his career, like he was someone who actually grew a fan base with not taking nonsense and actually criticizing restaurants. So how do you go for a person that is criticizing about dogs' presence in a restaurant and now you're about actually mocking a situation of what happened in a restaurant? I think there are many things going on here. One, he is maybe afraid of a lawsuit. And two, guys, people are saying that that was actually a racist response. Because, take for example, if it was a white woman complaining, people are saying that the situation of the matter is this situation would have been addressed in a professional manner. Like, I don't know, like he's been in the business for so long and that was his response. People are saying he's a hypocrite, guys, because like, how can you go from no dogs at restaurant to actually making fun and picking fun of like actually inviting dogs to the restaurant? How does it go from there? How does it go from there? Guys, it's just too much. It's just too much for me. Like, it's just a lot. Just very a lot. So, like, it's crazy to me. It's just nuts to me.
Gordon Ramsay has invented an insane policy where dogs are allowed inside their restaurant. They're not just allowed to be inside their restaurant. When they need to go to the toilet, they are able to do it out in the open in a restaurant. Unlike, I don't know if you've ever seen those kind of like lay down tissues that you use when you're having continence or when you're sick and in bed or when you're just elderly, right? There's like these thin layers, they're like an inner layer of a nappy pad that you lay out in a rectangle sheet all over a bed. He now allows that inside his restaurant in the open. A dog can just shit and urinate in the restaurant next to food, next to patrons, right? That somehow is a policy that has been approved because the patrons that he probably is trying to attract are people who have dogs that they love and they treat them like family. And so he has to facilitate for that family. This is the problem when you open a restaurant that has an average per head of £150. It just means that you need to cater to these types of people. And this is what has happened in one of his restaurants. A dog has done a number 2 in the middle of a restaurant and the people have complained and then they have left, but their manager has reinforced the dog's rights over their own. The world has gone mad. The dog doesn't actually pay anything. And the idea that dogs should be inside in restaurants is insane. I think if you have a dog-friendly restaurant, you should create it as a brand. You should call it Bark. You should sell food and dogs should be able to eat next to humans and humans should eat next to dogs and they should be really, really happy and they can lick each other's mouth. But can you leave us all out of it?
Of course, guys, of course she had something to say about the whole situation because, of course, she was trying to explain how Gordon Ramsay is covered by this umbrella of flop news and everything. And to be fair, guys, I do believe her. Like, it's insane. Let's see what she's got to say when TMZ came out with a news article and everything. I think she was actually very disappointed. And including me too. I'm never eating a gym. Is it a Gordon Ramsay restaurant? And so I'm not saying James Gordon, guys. Okay, I've never eaten in a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, but the whole scenery of that dog was disgusting.
Having TMZ run a factually incorrect story on me was not on my 2026 bingo card, but here we are. Let's talk about it. There were so many falsehoods in this, it's not even quality journalism. 2 women walked in with their dogs in a bassinet baby stroller. The dog was licking the table. From the moment they walked in, it had not been 5 minutes before she put the wee-wee pad on the floor and started to encourage the dog to relieve himself. From my seat, where I said, hey, what's going on? This is unsanitary. She kept comparing her puppy to my newborn baby. She said repeatedly, your baby shits and pisses all the time whenever it wants. What's the difference between my puppy, my dog? She kept comparing her puppy to my newborn baby. Per TMZ, we demanded to move tables. We were moved, and that was it. That never happened. We never demanded to move tables. We demanded that service and the manager address the patron. The manager told me, and I quote,
that's what we can do. We cannot control animals.
that's awful. So you want us to pay the full bill? We're not.
We can't.
You're going to remove the service charge. We cannot control the animals, ma'am. And then he gave me a bill, the full bill, with the 15% service charge added on, to which I said, I am not paying the service charge. Manager did not care. We paid the full bill. There was no discount given to us, nor did we ask for a discount. We paid the entire bill. Nobody at any time apologized for our experience. Nobody cleaned or sanitized the area in which the wee-wee pad was in while we were there. When you go to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, at minimum, you expect basic customer care, basic hygiene. Those are the two things you expect at minimum. My feeling is none of that was there that night. TMZ at no point has reached out to me. I've had multiple media outlets reach out to me to speak to me. TMZ has not reached out to me. They at no time requested my side of the story. There's some magic eyewitness that was there and who saw everything, which none of that happened based on their account. TMZ, you keep calling me the woman. It's Giselle Cadet. Gizellecade. Get it right.
So guys, here are my final thoughts. Dogs should not be allowed in the restaurant, period. Period. Like, absolutely not. Why? No. So the thing is, I don't know, like going forward, seriously, I don't think even if I've got money, I want to eat in his restaurant. I don't think so, because it's kind of like quite crazy, you know. Like, if I was her, well, I'm not gonna say it on camera because actually I've got to, do the necessary, with the video. But the thing is, what I'm just trying to say is it was actually of poor taste that he was actually doing what he had to do instead of actually apologizing. It also reminds me of one couple was talking about how they went eating one nice high-end restaurant and they were seeing rats frolicking around the floor, and someone is paying over $100 to eat there. Absolutely not. So guys, this is what I've got for the video. Bye. See you next time.